I'm working feverishly on a new script, and I have another movie coming out in late June, early July. But I still had time to check out the new film by Damian McCarthy, Hokum. The teaser trailer scared the snot out of me, and McCarthy's track record with winning horror films is strong after his two previous films, Caveat and Oddity. Let's see how Hokum stacks up to those modern horror gems.
Thrill me.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
I kick ass for the Lord. I kick ass for the Lord.
And I'm all out of bubblegum. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna run? Where are you gonna hide?
That cold ain't the weather. That's death approaching.
We belong dead.
Sometimes dead is better.
This is no dream. This is really happening.
Gotta return some videotapes.
Sometimes.
You're eating maggots, how do they taste?
Sometimes.
All out of bubblegum.
Gotta return some videotapes.
Eat shit and die, Ricky!
Eat shit and live, Bill.
Trace the call.
Mostly.
There will be blood. Groovy.
Gotta return some videotapes.
Hokum is new in theaters from Neon. It's directed and written by Damian McCarthy. Adam Scott plays Ohm Bauman, a disillusioned writer who journeys to Ireland to scatter the ashes of his parents at the spot where they spent their honeymoon. Ohm finds himself in the middle of a mystery of a missing bartender that he met the first night he spent in the hotel, a place that is rumored to be haunted by a witch locked away in the honeymoon suite. Though he's only done 2 feature films, Damian McCarthy has proven himself as a filmmaker that I am always on the lookout for. Like many of you, I too was blown back in my chair when I saw Caveat and its follow-up, Oddity, at the filmmaker's gift of creating the deadliest of jump scares. Now, I don't measure a movie by the amount of jumps and startles I experience while watching, but having seen so many fake jump scares, like a cat jumping onto screen or a friend popping up around a corner, I was so appreciative in that McCarthy has crafted his jump scares into an art form all their own. His jump scares do the same piano bang after a long build-up, but the difference between McCarthy and some Blumhouse hack is that the build-up is painfully slow, and most notably, the payoff is an image that is truly startling. Hokum has a few jump scares, a few of which were ruined in the trailer, but they were unsettling and downright heart-stopping nevertheless. Hokum is McCarthy's most mainstream film to date, with a name actor and a big theatrical release, not bad for his third effort in feature filmmaking, and while the bigger budget means a bigger story, McCarthy is still able to tell an intimate and effective ghost story filled with mystery, superstition, and of course, witches. Still entrenched in Irish folklore, McCarthy is not only telling a compelling ghost story, but an interesting human story as well. The mystery, while it's not necessarily the reason for the butts in the seats of the theater, was welcomed and adds depth where other horror films often phone it in. It's wonderful how McCarthy is able to switch between the mundane and the uncanny so seamlessly, and make both important to the plot. McCarthy also does something with the intricacies of the world he's building, zooming in on the various tchotchkes and bric-a-brac that decorate the settings of his films. He's a filmmaker who very much makes specific choices as to what sits on shelves, adorns walls, and is depicted in paintings and pictures in every scene. He zooms in close to these ornate trinkets that one might just browse by at a garage sale or thrift store, but the attention to detail adds to the story, giving the whole film a vibe that this is some age-old relic, unearthed, dangerous, and watching you from some inconspicuous space on the shelf. There's a wonderful scene where the owner of the hotel is telling a dark fairy tale to some kids that cuts between the kids and the storyteller, but as the story goes on, it plays out zooming in on tiny sculptures of terrified children that exemplifies McCarthy's gift for bringing historical weight to his scenes through tiny details. Adam Scott is sort of a divisive actor. He can come off as arrogant, stuffy, and prudish at times, the kind of person you meet at a dinner party who sucks up all the air from the room and makes you want to leave. But he also plays roles where he's engaging and likable, so he's got some range. Well, Hokum isn't going to win over anyone, as his character Ohm is a complete asshole in this film. So much so that I was afraid it was going to be one of those movies where I was rooting for the lead to get cacked. But because he's the only person on screen for the bulk of the film, and because of an extremely disturbing and effective moment of weakness at the beginning of the movie, I found myself terrified for his well-being despite his arrogance. I get what the actor is going for. He's a man haunted by past mistakes and is there to simply get a job done, disperse his parents' ashes, and then get back to his miserable life. Being a professional writer, it's understandable he becomes prickly when approached by others who have no clue about the hardship writers go through to make it. Hell, I've only had a handful of projects made into movies or comics, and I can admit frustration I feel when I'm approached by up-and-coming writers with their projects looking for advice. Being the softy that I am, I usually end up hearing the person out and giving the same advice other writers gave me in the past, but still, it makes for an uncomfortable interaction when someone thinks there's one magic thing to do in order to get their work published. So the early scene where Ohm gets pissy with Albie, the bellboy, played remarkably sincere by Will O'Connell, resonated with me on many levels. Still, what Ohm does to Albie is a shit thing to do, and it makes rooting for the guy tough when the shit hits the fan. Scott has a great character arc from beginning to end, where Ohm hasn't changed completely, but enough to endear the character to you. I love the world McCarthy is creating, as it's clear that all of his films seem to exist in the same universe, whether it is overtly stated or not. The themes of eldritch magic, folklore, and Irish superstition abound in all three of his films, and especially in Hokum. There are also fantastic little details that thread from one movie to the next, like the bellboy ghost and the summoning bell from Oddity showing up in major roles in Hokum. And of course, there's McCarthy's rabbit motif that carries on through all three films. It's just that added little oomph that makes you watch the filmmaker's films a little closer than most that really endears me to his work. I don't know if McCarthy is moving towards some grand Infinity War style crossover in his films, or if it's just little details added for his own amusement, but either way, I appreciate them. How does Hokum stack up to McCarthy's previous films? Well, that's a tough one. While it is awesome to see McCarthy get noticed and go mainstream, those first two small films were so potently terrifying that I think I prefer them more. That doesn't mean that Hokum is a bad movie. It's filled with scenes that will surely terrify you, but it didn't quite match that sense of inescapable creeping dread that filled Caveat, and didn't have the perfectly timed shard-inducing jump scares of Oddity. But compared to most everything else out there, Hokum is still one of the best ghost stories to grace the big screen in a long time. I definitely recommend this one. Have you guys seen Hokum? And what do you think of Damian McCarthy's work so far? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. Inside that